Sairam students. Today's literature class is the part 4 of our lesson The Thief's Story. And today we will come to an end of this lesson. But before I begin, as usual, let us have a recap of what we have done in part 1, 2 and 3. Two important characters, we have Anil and Hari Singh. Hari Singh is a thief and Anil is a writer by profession. Hari Singh befriends Anil and both of them are now staying together. Hari Singh's main plan is to rob Anil's money. And what he does on everyday basis is when Anil is giving him money to buy grocery, he is flicking 1 rupee every day. But he has a bigger plan. He says that for the past 1 month that he is staying with Anil, he has never seen a person like him who trusts Hari Singh so much. He's a genuine person. He's a kind person. So he says that I have never seen a person like Anil. One day when Anil returns home, he says that he has sold a book to the publisher and received some cash. While sleeping, he tucks the cash under his mattress and goes off to sleep. Hari Singh thinks of putting his plan into action. And from there, he takes away 600 rupees and leaves Anil's house. He goes to the station. The Lucknow Express is about to leave the platform. It was very easy for him to hop into the train and leave that place. But then something stopped him. He didn't jump into the train. Instead, he returned back, he sat on a bench and he was feeling bad for whatever he did. Because he felt that Anil trusted him so much. He made him to read, write. He taught him how to cook. He was such a nice and a genuine person. And what has he done in return? So he was feeling bad about it. He didn't have any friends. The only person he knew was Anil. But then he said that it's very difficult to go there. Why? Because he has robbed Anil. So let us see what he decides to do further. Just keep a book and a pen handy, students, to jot down the important points and the hard words. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and a respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. Now he is saying something. He says it's very simple to steal, and sometimes it is very simple to be caught as well. Okay, but then he has some other plan. He says to be a really big man, a clever, a respected man is something else. Okay, you cannot compare a life of a thief to that of a respectable person. Now he realizes, now he has another plan in his mind. He says, I want to be a big person. I want to be a respected man. But for this, I have to go back to Anil. Why? Because he is going to teach me how to read and write. And with that education, I will be a bigger person. I will have respect in the society. And today it's just 600 rupees that I have taken. Tomorrow with this education, I will earn even more. So this was his new plan. I hurried back to the room. Now he returned back to the room. He was nervous. He was scared. Why? Because it is easy, it's very easy to steal something. But, you know, when you return it without the person knowing it that you have stolen something, that is a little difficult. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. So now he has reached Anil's house. He opens the door quietly and he's standing over there, and it's clouded moonlight. Clouded, why? It was raining. So he is saying now the moon is covered with clouds. And he says that Anil is still asleep. So slowly he crawls up to the head of the bed and he removes the notes. And then he's there, he is still for a minute, no movement. And then slowly the way he removes the money, the way he removed money, when he was stealing money, the way he removed, in the same way he quietly went and kept the money as well. Anil didn't come to know. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you will be paid regularly. So whatever happened was, if you remember, the clock tower showed some midnight. So maybe after the duration of say 2 to 3 hours, he returned back home. So it was very late for him to go to sleep. So, but obvious, he woke up very late and he saw that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. So Anil stretched out his hands towards Hari Singh. And what was there between his fingers? A 50-rupee note. Now he was scared. Hari Singh was scared. What is he trying to say? Is he trying to say that these notes are wet because I have taken them? Or what is he trying to prove? My heart sank. Sank means he was a little scared. I mean, what next? I thought I had been discovered. So he feels that maybe Anil knows that there was something wrong happened last night. So what does Anil say? I made some money yesterday, he explained. So he say I made some money means he got some cash yesterday. And how did he get that cash? If you remember, he did mention this to Hari Singh that he sold a book to the publisher. So he also adds that now you will be paid regularly. So you will be paid regularly means now he is going to give Hari Singh salary on every month. Okay, so he will be getting his monthly salary. Okay. My spirits rose. But when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself, without any effort. So my spirits rose. This is what Hari Singh says. I was so happy. But when he touched the note, when he took the note from Anil's hand, what did he feel? He felt that the note was wet. And how was it wet? Same note which he had taken. Okay, he was trying to run away. But he came back. So the same note, he says that when I touched, I realized that yes, this is wet. Why? Because I took them away, it got wet. Today we'll start writing sentences. This is what Anil tells Hari Singh. So from today onwards, we will start writing sentences. He knew. He knew means Anil knew something went wrong. Maybe Anil understood that Hari Singh had taken some money, because when he tucked some cash under the mattress, the notes were not wet. But all of a sudden in the morning, how come the notes are wet? So maybe Anil understood something happened last night. Okay, that is why he decides, okay, fine, let me start, giving him salary. As it is, he's working with me. So he decides, maybe he didn't want Anil, to go on a wrong path. I'm sorry, maybe he didn't want Hari Singh to go on a wrong path. Okay, so he decides, okay, fine, I'll start paying you, and now onwards, whatever we have studied, we'll be going one step ahead. We'll start writing sentences. So he knew everything what happened last night. Maybe not in detail, but yes, he had got a hint. But neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. He didn't speak about it, nor did his eyes express anything. He was very normal. The way he used to be all this while, he continued to be the same way. He was very, very normal. I smiled at Anil. So, Hari Singh is saying, I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way. If you remember, in the very first part, I told you that, he smiled in a very appealing way. Why? Because he wanted to befriend Anil so that he could stay with him. Now again, he is smiling, but this smile is without any effort. It is not fake, it is a genuine one. Clear, students? So with this, we come to an end of this lesson. Here I have the value points. There is something new that we will be learning today, students, so just hang on for 2 minutes. Here I have the value points for you all. A summary of the lesson. Okay, so what is the moral of this story? The moral of the story by Ruskin Bond, named The Thief's Story, is human values and relations are more important in life. Yes. Did Anil know Hari Singh? They were strangers. But if you see, Anil's positive attitude completely changed Hari Singh. Anil was 25. Hari Singh was just 15. Okay. Hari Singh could have easily, chosen a wrong path. But this attitude of Anil, this positive attitude, okay, this kind-heartedness, it changed Hari Singh completely. So Hari Singh is a character who is a thief. He, though robbed Anil, couldn't run away with his money. Why? Because Anil was an honest and a genuine person. Anil even educated Hari Singh, and that's the reason, because of all these things, he thought of returning back to Anil. Hence, it can be said that even a person's honesty can change an evil person. Anil was a good man, and his goodness changed the mind of the thief, as he remembered the days that he spent with Anil. So while he reached the station, okay, like I told you before also, he could have easily hopped into the train, but he didn't go. Why? Because he thought of all the good times that he spent with Anil. He said that he could read, he could write. Anil was teaching him all these things. This is just 600 rupees that I have taken, but tomorrow, after getting educated, after being educated, I will earn even more. So that is when he realized what he can achieve in life. And why this happened? It's only and only because of Anil. This changed his mind, which shows that true values and kindness wins everyone's heart, even a thief's heart. So the positive attitude of Anil, the kindness, okay, he was kind hearted, he was genuine towards Hari Singh. So because of all these things, Hari Singh decided to return back. Clear? Now, students, you may get a question on to write a character sketch. So here we have two characters. One is Anil and the second one is Hari Singh. So what we will do is, I will tell you how to write a character sketch. One I am doing for you and the next one is going to be your homework. Here I have the character sketch of Anil. So you have to basically speak of what kind of a person was Anil. Once you understand this, writing the character sketch of Hari Singh will be easy for you. So how was Anil? Anil was a kind, simple and an easygoing young man. He was tall and lean, and he was interested in sports like wrestling. Not very rich. That's the reason he could not afford having, Hari Singh as his cook. When Hari Singh told him that I would like to work for you, what did he say? I don't have money to pay you. So he was not very rich. He had the patience and goodness to not only teach Hari to cook, but also to read, write, and add numbers. The very first night, he understood that Hari Singh cannot cook. Okay, he had to give away the food to a stray dog. So that is when he decided, because when he asked Hari Singh to leave, Hari Singh was not ready. So he said, okay, you continue to stay here. I will teach you to cook. And not only that, he taught him how to read, write, and add numbers. He is a writer who writes for magazine. This we already know. And he was not having a continuous flow of income. He was earning in fits and starts. He was a very trusting person. This is what even Hari Singh said. In my entire, lifespan or my career span as a thief, I have never seen a person like Anil. He was very generous to pay certain portion of money which Hari Singh tried to steal from him earlier. So why did he pay? Because he didn't want Hari Singh to opt a wrong path. He has a forgiving nature and forgives Hari Singh. He got a hint. That night something happened. Okay, he could have easily handed him over to the police. But instead he thought, if he does that, maybe Hari Singh will never ever get a chance to change himself. So with his positive attitude, he changed Hari Singh. He forgave him for whatever he did. In spite of knowing that Hari Singh tried to steal some money from him, he continues to be good to him. The only reason, he wants Hari Singh to change himself. So students, with this we have come to an end of our lesson, and character sketch is a very important question, students. One character I have done for you. The next is Hari Singh, which you will be doing it as homework. Now the question rises, where are you going to write? So students, I have told you initially also, if you have your A4 size sheets right there, or your fullscape papers, or if you have purchased books from the store, you can take any one book and start writing in it. Okay, so character sketch of Hari Singh is your homework. So with this, we come to an end of our lesson, The Thief's Story. Along with this video, there is a link which will take you to the worksheet of this lesson. Complete the worksheet and don't forget to submit. You all will take care of yourselves till we meet next. Sai Ram and bye-bye.